Hey guys, it's Chaplain April with Chaplain Chat. Thanks for watching my channel. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. This is just a quick video showing how my boys and I went to Southern Methodist University to view this rare codex. I didn't even know that that was happening because what I'm trying to say is I'm not sure how I found out it was coming there. I think it came on Facebook or something somehow. I just saw this little news blurb that this codex was going to be at Southern Methodist at the Bridwell library, and I said, am I seeing this right? Is that right? Because it wasn't going to be in any other universities. So it came from Tel Aviv. It was displayed in Tel Aviv. Then it came to the Bridwell Library in Dallas. Then from there it was going to Los Angeles and then to New York City. And those are the only places that you were going to be able to see it. And then it's going to be auctioned off in May. So I thought, oh my gosh, it's going to be in Dallas. So I was telling my youngest son that I wanted to go see it, and he said he wanted to go, and then my oldest son said he wanted to go and was interested. So I said, well, if they're both really interested and they want to see this, then we're gonna go. So I took off work, and we actually were really delayed. I don't know what all this white stuff is on my shirt here, but we were really delayed, and my son had some tests that morning, some makeup tests that he had to do, so we actually didn't leave town until like noon, which that's really a bad, it made for a very, very long day. But I said, well, we've already committed to this, we're gonna do it, I've already taken off work, so we went, and we didn't get home till like 9 o'clock that night, but it was worth it. We basically drove all day to see this, but it's really cool because I was reading here. I lost the pamphlet. I think it's at work, but there were other things you could see. There was a Gutenberg Bible, there was a St. John's Bible, there was a Torah scroll, and something else, a Catholicon. Anyway, it was a really cool exhibit, and of course the main thing was the codex, and a codex is written on parchment by a scribe. It's in a book form. Anyway, you can read about it, but this is the oldest Hebrew one, and there are other codices of the New Testament, but I think the Old Testament ones are not as known. So it was really amazing thing to see, and the whole story is like this codex was actually lost for like 600 years. They didn't even know it was still in existence because someone, you'll see the story, but then it just appeared back in, on the scene in the 1920s, and a private collector had it. So no one has really been able to see this. It's not like it's been on display, and it's getting auctioned off, and it is gonna go for between $30 and $50 million. It is possibly the most valuable book in the world as far as, monetary wise. The Bible's the most valuable book anyway, but I'm just saying it's going to be auctioned off for the most money, I think, ever for religious text. They're thinking in May. I actually need to look up and see if it's been auctioned yet. I'm not really sure. But we did go get to see it, and it was a really neat experience. It was very tiring, but the other part of that trip, we after we saw the exhibit, I wanted to go see Perkins School of Theology so that I would know where to go when I take my classes. And it was literally from the library, it was literally like a few blocks down, and we got to go up there. I should have filmed that, but of course, it's just hard to film everything. But we went up there, and we were able to meet the secretary or the assistant that helps you kind of with everything with your enrollment. She was there that day. I couldn't believe it because it was almost 5 o'clock. and the boys got to talk to her. We hung out, and she was telling me some things about the program, blah, blah, blah. So that was really cool. So now I know exactly where to go when my classes start in a month, less than a month now. And it was a really long story, but I almost didn't get to go. I almost didn't get to start the program this year because I don't have enough paid time off, and it was this whole thing, and I had to meet with this supervisor and explain the whole thing, and I had to the thing is that if I don't start this June, so that was the deal for me to ask them if I could start in January. And I did ask them that, and they said no, because it's a cohort. So you have to start, they want you to start with the same people and stay with those same people. So if you start in January, you're starting in the middle, and they really don't want you to do that. So if I were to defer, which they said I could, it would have to be a whole year. I wouldn't be able to start until next June. So that's why I met with my supervisor. I said that just makes me really nervous because I can't get board certified until I finish this program, which puts me 4 years out for not only finishing the program, but also for getting board certified for chaplaincy. So right now I'm 3 years out at least. I think I'm actually going to have to take a few more classes even after I finish the doctorate, because they have to be in certain areas. But it would put me at least 4 years out, so I told him that makes me really nervous, and so he agreed to let me take personal leave just to take these classes. Anyway, it's kind of involved in a lot of detail, but I am going to go ahead and start. So I'm a little bit under the gun right now because here it is, May 14th, and stuff is already due like the 28th. Actually, next Friday something is due, and I just realized that that's one book that I hadn't read, that I hadn't ordered yet, so I'm kind of under the gun starting this now, but I'd rather start it now and be a little bit stressed right now and then have 5 months break before the next classes, rather than waiting a year and then I'm just like, I feel like way behind. But anyway, so this is the video of, first there's a few videos explaining what the Codex is, and then the video of us going and seeing it. So enjoy.
Look, Noel Walker was there as they prepared the exhibit hall.
Okay.
SMU is rolling out the welcome mat for Codex Fest, an exhibit of the world's earliest, most complete Hebrew Bible.
Older texts many times have greater importance because there's a connection to that past.
Anthony Elia is director of SMU's Bridwell Library, the only university in the world to host the Codex Sassoon, a rare 1,100-year-old Hebrew Bible.
It is also believed to be the most valuable book in the world at this point, depending on what it fetches at auction at Sotheby's in May.
It's expected to go for $30 to $50 million, which is why it will be in this protective case for viewing, along with some of SMU's rare religious texts.
This is Gutenberg's Catholicon, so this is the second book he ever printed after the Gutenberg Bible, and it's extremely rare.
Today, the exhibits were installed, getting ready for viewing.
So the St. John's Bible was made in Collegeville, Minnesota.
It's rare and about a decade old. Other rare texts, like this Kaifeng Torah scroll from China, are centuries old.
And it's important because it's a part of the cultural heritage of the Jewish community that was in China at that time and is no longer there.
But the word is still here, and here, and here, and soon, right here too.
So there is a fair amount of anticipation and maybe a little anxiety around it because it is such a valuable book, but we're really very happy to have it come here and very honored.
At SMU, Noel Walker, NBC5.
Codex Sassoon exhibit runs from Tuesday, April 18th through Thursday, April 20th. It is free. The reservations are required.
The journal. Today we're at the Anno Museum at Tel Aviv University to see one of the oldest and most complete copies of the Hebrew Bible, the Codex Sassoon.
The Sassoon crown is one of the oldest and most complete copies of the Hebrew Bible in existence, with a history dating back to the 9th and 10th century. This dating for the beginning of the 10th century was determined by Professor Israel Yavin, apparently by using paleographic data such as the font of the script and its shape. It was later confirmed by a carbon-14 dating test in 2018. The Sassoon crown includes all 24 books of the Bible, except for the first 10 chapters at the beginning of Genesis and other lost pages, and has been passed down through the generations from hand to hand, country to country, for over 1,000 years. The Sassoon crown was written in ink on sheepskin and bound in a modern leather binding, weighing about 12 kilograms and including 792 pages of written texts, except for the 12 pages which were declared missing. In the exhibit, we see this enormous Bible is displayed behind transparent glass. The Hebrew letters are woven into verses with 3 columns on each page. The words are familiar to people of all ages and backgrounds, despite being written thousands of years ago. On the display, we see the Book of Deuteronomy, which reads in Hebrew script the 10 Commandments. It is a pan-Jewish matter, but it's also a universal one. To stand and marvel at a point from which so many human paths begin, which continue until this day. This historical piece of writing took an estimated 2 years to complete, and it was reportedly written in either Israel or Syria. Therefore, the Sassoon crown serves as a testament of the rich Jewish life in the Middle East around the 9th and 10th century. In the 13th century, the Codex was dedicated to the synagogue in the Makshin community, which is identified with the town of Markada in present-day Syria. A detailed inscription on the last page of the manuscript reflects the tragedy that befell this community, which was attacked by invaders. Fearing for the book's safety, it was smuggled out of the synagogue and entrusted to Salama ben Avi el-Facher, who was required to return it to the community when the synagogue was rebuilt. Sadly, the synagogue was never built again, and the Codex disappeared for almost 600 years. The book, however, resurfaced in the 1920s, when an extraordinary man named David Suleiman Sassoon, perhaps the most important collector of Jewish books, purchased it in 1929 for £350 in Frankfurt. The document, named after Sassoon, was the product of his lifelong passion for collecting and researching ancient Jewish manuscripts. Born into a privileged Iraqi Jewish family, Sassoon established a library in his hometown of London and spent his life amassing over 1,000 manuscripts from all corners of the globe, from Ashkenazi communities in the West to Yemen and North Africa, and even as far as India. His collection was a testament to his unwavering dedication to preserving Jewish history and culture. Despite his devotion to these priceless artifacts, Sassoon passed away in 1942, leaving his descendants to inherit his cherished collection of over 1,000 manuscripts. While some notable books were later donated to the National Library of Israel, Sassoon crown took a different path. The manuscript was sold to the Railway Workers' Pension Fund of Great Britain, which eventually sold it to an unknown private buyer in 1978. Within a short time, it was purchased in 1989 by Jackie Safran, a Jewish businessman living in Switzerland. Throughout these transactions, Sassoon's crown remained out of public view, hidden away for praying eyes. In recent decades, the manuscript has been exhibited to the public only once, almost 40 years ago, in the British Museum. Nevertheless, it remains a prized possession and a testament to Sassoon dedication to preserving the ancient history and culture of the Jewish people. Now, the Sassoon's crown is in Israel as part of a final tour which also includes London, Los Angeles, Dallas and New York, just before going up for auction at Sotheby's auction house. With the price range estimated between $30 and $50 million, the Sassoon crown may become the most valuable historical document of all time.
Thanks for joining us in today's video on the journal, where we saw the oldest written Hebrew Bible, the Codex Sassoon. See you next time.
So we are going to Southern Methodist. We're waiting for Wesley to finish his test. And then we're gonna head out. All right, so I'm gonna read a little bit of this. Can you see it on there?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to see the Codex Sassoon. So a codex is a manuscript, an old manuscript that is done on parchment. And so a scribe painstakingly wrote all of this. You only get like 10 minutes to look at it. So we're basically driving 7 hours just to look at this for 10 minutes. What else are you on a roll about?
Teachers should get paid so much more than they do.
They should get paid more.
I can see Wesley back there.
I want to be a teacher. I've wanted to be a teacher for years.
And you won't?
I won't because I'll have to pay for my own like pencils and my own equipment and get paid like pocket change. No offense to all the teachers, but
pocket change? It's
yeah,
not pocket change.
Yeah, like teachers deserve so much more respect than they get.
They teach literally everyone in the entire country, and they get
Yeah.
paid so much less than a lot of the jobs that do nothing.
Like mine,
No,
where I do nothing
you don't do nothing.
all
Like
day long.
I don't think.
Construction? That's not nothing.
No, that's like one of the that's important. But no, what I'm saying is like education isn't taken as seriously as it should
Right.
for children. Because like think about it. The teachers, the people who are training the next generation of people to be humans, the fate of the world is in the hands of teachers, and you're paying them $28,000 a year to work to change the lives of hundreds of students every day. If they're gonna
Okay.
If you have a local like business, right, with like 3 to 4 workers, and then you move the minimum wage to $15, that makes that business owner who doesn't even make that much pay more money to his workers, which means that you might have the working class actually be laid off, and it might make poverty like more of an issue.
We made it to campus. Guys, oh wait, I didn't see you. You excited?
Yeah.
What are we looking at? What are we?
The Codex or whatever.
The
I don't
Codex
know.
or whatever.
Codex. I don't know.
Okay. Gotta find the library. Which I think is down here on the right. I think that might be it. This building right here.
What's this college called again? I'm taking this video.
What? No. Did you ask what campus we're on? This is, ready to go in? that whole thing already.
Yo, Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Oh wow.
Talking about sun deities.
Oh boy.
It's almost written like a poem.
Yeah.
Like look, like it's almost written like lines and stanzas. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, there's 3 lines per page.
3 columns.
3 columns. Yes. So I think that's part of the Torah over there.
This like country technically.
Oh, right.
It's like right next to Egypt.
Yeah.
Around like the Middle East. It's parts of Jeremiah, Lamentations. So books that you probably don't.
Oh my God.
Wow.
What do you think?
Pretty cool.
This is what we drove all day for.
She's trying to find
You
it.
said what? The Shema is on this side?
It's on this page. Yeah, Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God is one Lord.
How cool.
You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart,
If you
soul,
see
and
it,
strength.
point it out to me.
You think it's near where someone dropped?
So they have it open right to that.
Well, this is the Ten Commandments,
Oh, on
and that's
this
the
side?
Shema.
Oh, awesome.
And
Okay.
because the leaves aren't in order, so they placed
Okay.
those so that we could
Oh,
see
I
them.
see. And there's 12 leaves missing, right? Is what
Yes.
I read. Okay.
So there's a Gutenberg Bible over here. That's
There
like
is?
Really, well, there are 2 different, but over here are some leaves. And someone stole some leaves out of and they stole, of all the things you could steal, they stole Lamentations, Jeremiah, and Baruch. I'm like,
That is weird.
if
huh?
I were going to take something from a Bible, not that I would,
Right,
I would
right.
probably take, you know.
Oh, you speak Hebrew?
Israel.
I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, how cool. So it's pointed out to us.
Yeah.
Left page.
Yahweh.
Left page, bottom right.
So it's right here in this
Okay.
last. So
Oh, right
Shema.
there.
See that?
Bottom right,
Shema.
1,
see
2,
the
3,
see
4,
the
5.
Shem.
5 lines up.
I do.
think.
I see it. I see the Shema.
Yeah.
Okay. How
Oh
cool.
wow! I gotta
That's so
get in on
cool.
that.
Get
Thank
a picture.
You. Yeah.
Thank you for coming back.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, wow, so he
Shema.
reads Hebrew. That's cool.
Very cool. Sorry.
So bottom.
It's just these last, what, 5 lines, 6 lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
1, 2,
yeah.
3, 4,
Shema
5, 6 lines
Yisrael,
up.
the Lord, El.
This text is only containing these books.
Is this the Gutenberg Bible over here? Which that's a really awesome thing to see.
This was found in the farmhouse.
That's a scroll. Look how cool that is. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they just write on pages and then stitch them together and roll them up.
It's a Torah scroll. That is really awesome. I've never seen one in person.
A Torah scroll?
A Torah scroll.
Isn't that like the Bible of Israel?
No, Jewish.
Jewish.
Jewish. It's the Old Testament.
Isn't Jesus Jewish?
Yeah.
Because in the Middle Ages, weren't they like preaching this word? Like, wasn't the Crusades happening and they literally preached this word to people? Like, why would they be hidden? Also, wouldn't they be on display if they're like ancient books? Doesn't make any sense. That does not make any sense.
You get enough? Ready to go?
Take a right onto the path. Then in 100 feet, take a left onto the path. Take a left onto the path. Then in 40 feet, take a right on Bishop Boulevard. Take a right on Bishop Boulevard.
Oh, it's a labyrinth. Look at that.
Oh, I want to do that. Yeah. Did we ever finish it?
Oh, yeah, we finished it.
We did this at the Grace Cathedral in San Francisco. We did this at the Grace Cathedral. But you guys were really little, so you
Wasn't
probably
that in
don't.
like Wichita or something?
San Francisco.
Having really bad deja vu.
Yeah.
I thought of this exact moment